Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to game number 3 of the 1978 World Series. The scene has now shifted to Yankee Stadium. Series is even at a game apiece. And the starting pitchers for tonight's game, Ron Guidry for the Yankees and Don Sutton for the Dodgers. Let's go. I'm going to try something here. I don't know how well it's going to come across, but we'll find out. We got Bob Shepard giving us the rosters and the starting lineups for both teams.
Number 5, Johnny Oates. Number 9, Jerry Grote. Number 11, Manny Moten. Number 13, Joe Ferguson. Number 16, Rick Monday. Number 23, Teddy Martinez. Number 25, Tommy John. Number 31, Doug Rowell. Number 33, Vic Davalino. Number 35, Bob Welch. Number 36, Rick Rosen. Number 38, Lance Robson. Number 46, Bert Cooper. Number 49, Charlie Huff. And number 51, Terry Foster. And now, the starting lineup. Batting first, the second baseman, number 15, David Lewis. Batting second, the shortstop, number 18, Bill Russell. Batting third, the right fielder, number 8, Reggie Smith. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 6, Steve Garvey. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Ron Says. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 12, Dusty Baker. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 34, Lee Lacy. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 4, Bill North. Batting ninth and catching, number 7, Steve Yeager. And warming up in the Dodger bullpen, number 20, pitcher Don Sutton. And the Dodger manager, Tom Lasorda. Well, much like Los Angeles, these Yankee fans are whooping and hollering for their New York Yankees. They're giving them a standing ovation. so nervous, Yogi.
Number 32, Elston Howard. Number 33, Gene Michael. Number 34, Dick Hauser. In the bullpen, number 42, Art Fowler. Number 48, Clyde Gate. Number 2, Oil Blair. Number 11, Red Stanley. Number 12, Jim Spencer. Number 19, Dick Tidrow. Number 24, Gary Thomason. Number 27, Jay Johnstone. Number 28, Sparky Ryan. Number 29, Jim Catfish Hunter. Number 30, Willie Randolph. Number 31, Ed Figueroa. Number 36, Paul Lindblad. Number 41, Cliff Johnson. Number 43, Ken Clay. Number 45, Jim Beatty. Number 46, Mike Keith. And number 54, Rich Gossett. And the starting lineup for the Yankees. Batting first, the center fielder, number 17, Mickey Little. Batting second, the left fielder, number 6, Roy Hunt. Proud of her man. Batting third and catching, number 15, all the wives go through it. There's Ann Munson. It's not an easy time for them either. Lots of pressure and lots of relatives. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Michael Beckton. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Lou Piniella. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Greg Little. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 10, Luke Kemper. He was doubtful up till game time, and there is Audrey, his wife, Audrey Chambliss, Audrey, batting eighth, the second baseman, number 25, Brian Boyle.
All right, everybody. So I just wanted to put that out there. I didn't know how it came across, but I just thought it'd be something different to do since it is a World Series after all. Need a little pomp and circumstance when you can get it. So we're going to get this game going here. Game number 3 in the 1978 World Series. The series is tied at 1 game apiece as we shift now to this afternoon at Yankee Stadium. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock will be Game 4 at Yankee Stadium. Sunday night around 9 o'clock p.m. will be Game 5. And then Monday is a travel day, if necessary, back to Los Angeles, where Tuesday at 9 o'clock and Wednesday at 9 o'clock will be the last 2 games of the series. Hello, Chuck, Jeff, Kenyon, and Joel. Good to see all of you. All right, so as we said, Don Sutton against Ron Guidry. And we'll see what will happen here. They did introduce Willie Randolph with the team, but of course he is injured and cannot play. But I guess that was just a salute to him, but he's not on the roster. So, and Jay Johnstone, they changed his number around on the card. It has 21, but he's really 27. So it may have been an error on the card, or he may have switched his number mid-season. I'm not sure. They were in numerical order, so that's why I kind of got an order there, because they had Johnstone with 27, not 21. All right, so we are ready to go. Ballpark again, Yankees. The new ballpark now is Yankee Stadium. It is a day game in October, which is a 44 base. So the 3D10s have to at least total 10, or we're going to have a -1 effect on the weather for deep drives. And that's a 17, so that's just fine. That'll be a 61-degree day, so there's no alteration to the deep drives whatsoever, as the weather does not come into play. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. All right, so Davey Lopes against Ron Guidry, Game 3 underway. We get a 6:02 right away. You go to the ballpark card, but 6:02 is going to be a 6-3 ground out. Would have been a double play had a runner been on first, but just a 6-3 ground out, very basic. And there's one away. Here is Bill Russell. 193, that's a non-split. It comes up as a wild pitch. So it's going to be ball 1. Trying again. 593, that's a defensive check for the right fielder, Lou Piniella. Piniella actually is rated at left field, so we're going to be going to his ratings-based defense. Because if you look at Pinella's card, it says left-handed and right-handed, but in this main block, that's left field. So we're looking over here for right field. It's got an arm of 5, range of 5, and a fielding of 7. So how the alternate or ratings-based defense work is we come down here to the outfield. We're looking at the blue die, which is a 3. That's the one we're focusing on, is the 3. So is the 3 less than or equal to his arm? Yes, it is. His arm is a 5. So that means that is successful. It's a right field, so it's just going to be a fly ball to right field. Fly ball to right field. The blue die was above his range in his arm. Say it was a 9 or something. Then we go down to range, and it'd be a single or a double. But in this case, the 3 is less than the 5 arm. So that's going to be a fly ball to right field, and that's going to be out number 2. So that's how the ratings-based defense works. Took me a while to figure that one out, but once I got it figured out, it was no problem. All right. That'll send up Reggie Smith, switch hitter. He'll turn around and bat right-handed against the lefty Guidry. And we got another defensive check. This one's on Munson, but it's a blue 0, so Munson may very well frame a strike for a strikeout on a 520. We shall see, and he certainly did. 520 through 522, he frames the pitch for a strikeout. So Munson gains Guidry a strikeout by doing a good framing job. And the Dodgers go down in order, 1, 2, 3, here in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Don Sutton back out. He'll be facing Mickey Rivers. I used to call him Mick the Quick when I was growing up. And another, boy, we're getting all these fielding checks. 503, it's actually a rare play. Anything 500 to 509 is a rare play. So we go to the rare play book in our manual here, rules of play. And when we go to the rules of play, we look for rare plays, and they start on page 20. I'm sorry, they start on page 29. So we go over here to page 29, and we're looking at the situations that we have. We have bases empty. So anything bases empty is going to be starting on page 30 through 33. So we just flip to the next page for page 30 and roll the three dice and see what we get. This page 30 covers 100 through 345. Row higher than 345, we go to the following pages to find the one that matches. And we're going to get a 427. So we go to the next page for 427, page 31, and look at what 427 does. 427 falls in the 425 to 438 category. And it says E5 ++ B ? Batter is safe on first on a throwing error by the third baseman. Runners advance 2 bases. Batter may try to advance to second base by challenging the right fielder's arm. All right, so Ron Say has thrown the ball away. It's gone down the right field line. Reggie Smith has tracked it down. And now Mickey Rivers has a chance to challenge Reggie Smith to see if he can make it to second base. So we're looking at Reggie Smith's arm. Reggie Smith's arm is a 5. His speed is a 7. So he's got a 2-point advantage right there. So he's going to challenge. And how do we challenge? We come right over here. We take the arm of the outfielder, which is a 5, add it to the 10 for a 15. The speed of the runner plus these 3 dice have to be greater than or equal to the 15. Well, he's already a 7. So all we need is these 3 dice to total 8. If they add up to 8 or higher, he will beat the throw. And they do. So Mickey Rivers will challenge the arm, and he will turn this into a 2-base error on Ron Say. It's a 2-base error on Ron Say, as he threw the ball past Garvey and all the way down the right field line, and by the time Reggie Smith picked it up, Mick the Quick was at second base. So he's at second base with nobody out for Roy White. That's a 632, but the home team's batting, so you add 10 for a home field advantage. 642, and 642 is a 4-6 fielder's choice, but nobody's on base, just a 4-3 ground out. But on a 4-3 ground out, the runner at second, the runner will go to third with the ball hit to the right-hand side of the infield. So with 1 out, Thurman Munson is stepping to the plate, and the infield is going to play in. They don't think they're going to get a whole lot off Guidry, so they're playing in early on here in the first inning. See if that comes back to bite him or whether it's a good play. 320. 320 is a fly ball, right field ++. That means it's good enough for a sacrifice fly. Actually, a plus would have been good enough for a sacrifice fly. A sacrifice ++ means the run on second would also go to third, not just the run on third going home. So an unearned run comes in for the Yankees. Credit Munson an RBI with a sacrifice fly. Yankees lead 1-0. 2 outs, nobody on for Reggie Jackson. Hot Dog Jackson, 434. Sutton's a righty. Come over here to righty, 434. And that's a deep fly to center field, but that will end the inning. But the Yankees break through. The 2-base error comes back to cost them. And Thurman Munson cashes in with a sacrifice fly. Yankees lead it 1-0. We go to the second inning. So hopefully people that maybe aren't familiar with this game have watched me play it enough to kind of follow what's going on with it. You may not know all the rules, but I'm trying to kind of explain it as I play it. Hopefully it's making sense. Hello, Miss Kathy. Good to see you. Yankees lead 1-0. Top of the second, Guidry to Garvey. That's a 116, and that's going to be a redirect. Anytime you're in 100s here and you get that the red 3XX, we keep the 3, but the white and the 2 X's, I'm sorry, we keep the 2 X's. We keep the white and the blue, which in this case is a 16, but the 1 is going to turn into a 3. So this redirects to, it's called a redirect. It's a redirect to a 316, which is a strikeout. So strikeout of Garvey, and that is strikeout number 2. So again, how that works, when you roll a 116 in this situation, the 3, the red 3, the red 1, I should say, gets replaced by a red 3, but the XX means you keep the same 2 numbers that you had. So the 16 stands, changes to a 316, and on his card, that's a strikeout. So Ron Say steps to the plate. 305. And that's going to be a strikeout as well. 300 to 329 is a strikeout, and that is strikeout number 3 for Ron Guidry. Here's Dusty Baker. And we get a 290, and that's against Guidry against the right-hander Baker. 290, that is a deep drive to left field. So Dusty Baker has got into one. Let's see if he's got enough of it. His power rating is a 4. We're going to add this 4 to the 2 D10s on this deep drive to left and see what we get. He needs a 14 on the 2 D10s to get a home run. He only gets an 8. So he has an 8 plus the 4. It's a total of 12. And that's actually going to be a fly ball to left field. So he didn't even get a hit. He just hit a deep fly to left. And that's going to end the inning. So Ron Guidry gets through that, no problems. We go to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 favor of the Yankees. And Lou Piniella, Sweet Lou, the original Sweet Lou before Lou Whitaker came along. The original Sweet Lou, Lou Piniella, steps to the plate. 3-13, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. If he was a high strikeout guy, he would have struck out because sometimes the high strikeout guys will have about 20 numbers in here. But he made a lot of contact. He's only got 6 numbers here. So 307 to 314 is where the 313 falls. So it's just a deep fly to right. Had runners been on second or third, they would have advanced, but nobody was on. Here's Nettles. That's a 109, and that, again, it's going to be a redirect. The 1 changes to a 3, but the 09 stays the same. So that's a redirect to a 309, and Nettles will strike out. First strikeout for Sutton. And that'll bring up Chris Chambliss. We get a 5. Oh, the blue 9 is terrible. That's like the double die in Strat. So the right fielder, 9 is the right fielder. That is Reggie Smith, but I don't think he has much of a chance with that blue 9. So we go over here to 599, and that's a single plus. Just means a runner on second would score runner on second would score on that single, but runner on first would only go to second. But with nobody on, it's just a plain old single for Chris Chambliss. And that is that, because nobody was on base. So that brings up Brian Doyle, and he's a PDF I had to print out because he didn't have enough at-bats to be carded. 454, and against Sutton, a righty, 454 is a 3 unassisted. So ground out to Garvey unassisted, and that will end the inning. So that's going to do it for the Yankees. Still 1-0 after 2 complete. Guidry will be facing Lee Lacy, the designated hitter. Lee, Cagney, and Lacy. 231, and Guidry against Lacy, a righty. 231, we come to the right. 231, and that's going to be a single. He would have, if a lefty was batting, it would have been a fly to right. But with a righty batting, that's a single. So Lee Lacy gets himself a base hit. First hit of the game for the Yankees. Guidry has an incredible hold rate of 9, so it's going to take a bunch for somebody to steal off of him. So they will hold Lacy there, and Bill North, your batter. Oh, cool, Dr. D. That's the good thing. If you don't catch it live, it's always there on the recap, on demand, I guess is the term for it. Here's Bill North, 119, and again, that's a redirect to a 319. We change the 1 to a 3, and we keep the 19. 319 is going to fall into the strikeout category, so Bill North will strike out. So strike out number 2, and that's the reason why it's rated that way. They're trying to up the strikeouts. He had 248 strikeouts, so by redirecting these low numbers, there are good chances that he'll add to his strikeout total, and that's the reason why it's rated that way. Here's Steve Yeager. The Jägermeister, 584. That's the fly ball to center fielder Mickey Rivers. The blue 4 shouldn't create a problem for Mickey, I wouldn't think. 584, yep, it's a fly ball to center field. This notation means if a runner was on third, he would have to try to score. He would not have an option. He would be forced to try to tag up. But nobody's on, just a runner on first. Nobody's on third, so it's going to be a simple fly ball to Mickey Rivers for out number 2. I know some of these cards look like hieroglyphics if you don't know the nomenclature on it, but that's what that means. Question mark means you have the option to challenge or to move up. A question mark followed by an exclamation point is you have no choice. You have to go. All right. And a notation like this, L6R2 exclamation point, that means a line drive runner on second would be doubled off. All right, here's Lopes, 492. He's facing a lefty Guidry. So 492 is a fly ball to center field, and that's going to end the inning. I know it might cut into the flow a little bit trying to explain things as I play it, but I think for people that don't know the game all that well or haven't seen much of it, I think it's worthwhile to at least try to provide some context as to what's going on so you can try to follow along as best you can. Here's Bucky Dent. That's a 504. Anything 500 to 509, we'll go right back to the rare plays with bases empty. So we're going to roll the 3 dice and check the rare play event for Bucky Dent. That is a 459. So come over here to the rare plays. 450 to 499. That's a single plus plus with a possible error on the right fielder. Single to right field. If white die, this one here, is higher than the right fielder's fielding, the batter advances to second base on a fielding error. All right, well, Reggie Smith is the right fielder. So let's see if it's higher. No, it's the same. His fielding rating is a 5, and that's a 5. The rare play says if it's higher, it's not higher, that fails. So there is no error. It will just be a single, but no error is on the play because if that white die had been a 6 or higher, it would have been an error. But as it is, just a single for Bucky Dent. So Dent's aboard. And now Mickey Rivers. Mickey Rivers is going to set up the bunt. Mickey Rivers, pretty decent bunter with a 5. Now, I know you people are falling out of their chairs seeing me bunt this much, but all of a sudden I got on a bunt kick. But I think in this case, leadoff man on, you're trying to get an extra run for Guidry. I don't think it's a bad move. So we just add the 3 dice, add it to the bunt rating, and check the chart. So his bunt rating is a 5. So we're going to add 5 to these 3 D10s, or the 2 D10s and the 1 D6. That totals 6. So the 5 makes it an 11. An 11 right here is miss, 2 strikes. It says C below. So foul miss. Batter reaches 2 strikes without putting the ball in play. Keep the bunt on, re-roll in the bunt table. If you hit foul or miss again, you strike out, or you can swing away with 2 strikes. Then when you do that, a roll of 600 to 699 instead of going to the ballpark chart is now a strikeout, and you subtract 3 from their batter power on deep drives. Walk results in full count, not a thing. But we're going to have Mickey. He's bound and determined he's going to get this bunt down. So he's going to try it again. 5, and we're going to add the 3 dice. All right, we get an 11 on these 3 dice plus the 5. That's a 16, and that's a fielder's choice pitcher. Says C below. Defense may take the automatic out or try for the lead runner. Lead runner is Dent. Dent's speed is only a 3, so they got a chance to get the lead runner here. It's only a 3, and the pitcher arm rating, well, for Sutton's only a 1, so that might not be so good either. I think with his arm being less than what the speed is, I believe they will just take the sacrifice hit and make sure they don't make matters any worse. Make sure they don't have 2-1 and nobody out. So the sacrifice is successful. And now Roy White, the batter. Hello, Ernest. Roy White, the batter, with Dent at second and 1 away. 495. Roy White against the right-hander Sutton. 495. That's a deep drive to right. If he was facing a lefty, it would have been a strikeout. But 485 to 499, we hit the deep drive. So we're going to deep drive. Roy White's power is a 5. And it is to right field. So we're checking this column here. We're going to add 5 plus these 2 D10s and see what happens. We get a 7, so that's a total of 12. So come here to 12, and it's a fly to right. Boy, he just missed some singles and doubles. He will get a fly to right instead. Fly ball to right field. Now it says here, under the 12, a runner on third would have to try to tag up, but there is no runner on third. There's only runners on second. So just a simple fly out, 2 down. And that brings up Munson. 582, so that's an easy play for Russell. That blue 2. I'm sorry, not 580. Center fielder. What am I talking about, Russell? Center fielder, Rick Monday. That's who I meant to say. Or not Rick Monday, Bill North. 582 for Bill North is a fly ball to center, and that will end the inning. Mundy had been playing center the first 2 games against right-handed pitching, but now that Guidry, the lefty, is in, they now have switched off to the right-handed or switch hitting Bill North. So 3 innings in the book, still 1-0 Yankees. Hey, Bill. Good to see you. And speaking of Bill, we got Bill Russell leading off. We get a 5-15. That's the pitcher. The white die determines the position, and in baseball nomenclature, the pitcher is a 1. So we come to Guidry, 5-15. That's a 1-3 putout. If that white die, or if that blue die rather, had been a 6 or higher, it would have been a single. But this falls into 5-15. So Guidry makes the play, 1-3 on the ground out, and there's 1 away. Here's Reggie, 182. That's a non-split section, and that's a walk. So Guidry will issue the free pass to Reggie Smith. That's his first walk to go with the 4 strikeouts. And again, with Guidry's superior 9 hold rating, they're not really going to try to, steal any bases right here. Here's Garvey, 634. Go to the ballpark, 6-3-4, and that's a fly ball to center field. So fly ball to center field for out number 2. And it brings up the Penguin, Ron Say. 2-24, Guidry against a right-hander Say, 2-2-4. And that's going to be a 5-3 double play, but there are already 2 outs, so it's just going to be a 5-3 ground out. And Guidry, 4 shutout innings so far for the Yankees. And they lead Sutton and the Dodgers 1-0. Hot Dog Jackson steps up. He flew to center his first chance. 4-55 for Jackson against the right-hander Sutton, 4-5-5. And that's a base hit to center field. Would have struck out against a lefty, but against a righty, he singles. So Reggie gets on. Here's Lou Piniella. 396. And that's a non-split. That's going to be a single plus. Single plus, that means a runner on second would score, but a runner on first only goes to second. You would need the double plus there. It's like the star in Strat pretty much. So just a single, 1 base advancement. Jackson will go to second, but they got first and second on and nobody out, and Greg Nettles the batter. 2 good lefties coming up, Nettles and Chambliss. We get a 396, and that's a straight-up 3-run home run for Greg Nettles. In the 394 to 399 range, we have a home run, and that's gone. Greg Nettles, the Earl Weaver 3-run home run, and the Yankees lead it 4-0, and Don Sutton looks dejected. And with Ron Guidry, that 4 runs may as well be 20, because they're going to have a tough time getting 4 runs off of Guidry. But that was deposited deep, and there's still nobody out. Here's Chambliss, 387. 387 is a fly to left field for out number 1. I'll bring up Brian Doyle. 626, home team's batting, so we add 10, makes it 636, but it's still going to be a fly ball to center field. So that's out number 2. Or Bucky Bleeping Dent, as Boston fans will call him. 465 against a right-hander. That's a 5-4 ground out for a fielder's choice. Nobody on base. It simply reverts to a 5-3. But a 3-run home run off the bat of Greg Nettles gives the Yankees a 4-0 lead as we head to the 5th inning. And Guidry giving lots of run support. He'll be facing Dusty Baker. 391 for Baker, and that's going to be a single. Leadoff single for Dusty Baker. That'll bring up the DH Lee Lacy. That's a 530. So we're going to the first baseman Chambliss, but the 0 there probably means he will turn a double play, but we'll verify. Go to Chris Chambliss for the 530. Yep, that's a 363 double play. So the blue die was cooperative with a low number, and we get a 363 double play. 2 quick outs. And Bill North, if that blue die had been a 9, it would have been a base hit or an error or something like that. 640 for Bill North. 640 is going to be a 3 to 6 fielder's choice, but in this case, Chambliss will just throw it to the pitcher, Guidry, covering because nobody else is on base, and that will end the inning. So Guidry, 5 shutout innings, giving up just 2 singles, and that's it. Sutton comes back out. He'll be facing the top of the order, Mickey Rivers, Roy White, and Thurman Munson. 221. 221. Rivers is a lefty, so we come over here, 2-2-1, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. That would have been a single had Rivers been a right-handed batter, but against a left-handed batter, that is so it's kind of a reverse split there. It will be a fly ball to right field, or 1 away. I'll bring up Roy White. 143, and that's a redirect to a 343. Keep the 43 and change the 1 to a 3. So a 343 is going to be a 4-3 ground out for out number 2. And that brings up Thurman Munson. 172, and 172 is a fly to left. So 1-2-3 inning this time for Don Sutton. He gets out of the mess and tries to keep the score where it is as long as he can. Hope his team can come back and score some runs against Guidry, but it's going to be tough. Here's Yeager. Steve Yeager. That's a 122, and that's a redirect to a 322, and 322 is another strikeout. So that's, again, how the game adds strikeouts for a high strikeout pitcher. You redirect it to the strikeout column on the batter. And in this case, it came up that way. So here's Davey Lopes. That's a 179, and that's going to be a base on balls. Second walk issued by Guidry. Lopes, a good base stealer with a 45 here, a speed, but you're down 4-0, so I don't think you want to take a chance on the base pass. If it was 1-0, you probably send him. 538, that blue 8 is going to be trouble for Chris Chambliss. I can see it now. Chris Chambliss will have issues with this. 538, that'll be a single to right field. So a single to right field, and since it went to right field, they could challenge Pinella's arm if Lopes wanted to. Let's see here. Pinella, where are you? His arm rating in right field is a 5. And Lopes' speed is a 9. So they're going to challenge down 4. They want to get him to third with less than 2 outs. So they're going to challenge this. So the 5 arm here makes this a 15. These 3 dice plus his speed have to equal 15 or higher. So we just need these 3 dice to total 6 or higher. And he's safe. And he is. So Lopes will make it to third base with his speed. Puts first and third with only 1 out. And Reggie Smith, the batter. Yankees playing back for the double play. They'll try to get the outs. Hello, Bart. Good to see you. Guidry, 4-14. Smith against a left-handed pitcher, 4-14, will be a walk. He would have walked against a righty as well. So the bases are loaded for Steve Garvey. The tying run is now at the plate in Steve Garvey, and he's got the power against lefty. You see that deep drive sitting there if we get a 494 to 499. But we get a 578, which is just as bad because that blue 8 is going to give the left fielder, Roy White, all kinds of trouble. Somebody's mowing their lawn. I can hear it from here. Why they didn't do that on Saturday, I don't know. But anyway, that's beside the point. All right, 578 for Roy White, and that's going to be a single plus. So 578 means that the run from third will score and the runner from second. It's basically like a strat 2-star advancement is basically what it is in a nutshell. It's a 2-run single for Steve Garvey, cuts the lead to 4-2. Smith goes to third. Garvey at first, still only 1 out. They're starting to get to Guidry a little bit. Here's Say. 483, and a 483 is a fly ball to center field plus. That plus means It's a sacrifice fly with a runner on third. So Smith will come in to score to cut the lead to 4-3 with 2 outs. And here comes Baker. 482. 482 is another deep drive, this one to center field to end the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Dodgers, and all of a sudden we got a game now. It's 4-3. As Guidry does not seem invincible as he gives up the 3 runs. But here comes Hot Dog Jackson to make things right for the Yankees. He is 1 for 2 with a single. That's a 537. So now Garvey has a chance, but the blue 7's going to do him in as well. Those high blue numbers, you're in trouble. So Steve Garvey, a 537, and that's going to be a base hit to right field for Reggie. If that blue die had been a 5 or less, he would have made the play. 6 or higher, he would not make the play. So it's a 7, so it's base hit for Reggie. Hot Dog Jackson, 2 for 3. Sweet Lou, 356. 356 is a 5-4-3 double play. That's a killer if you're the Yankees. That kind of takes the momentum away right there. A 5-4-3 around the horn double play on that 356. Brings up Greg Nettles now with 2 outs and the bases clear. That's a 543, so we're looking at Davey Lopes, but the blue 3 should be no problem for Davey Lopes. 543 is a 4-3 ground out, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 7th. It's a much tighter game than it was going to the 6th, that's for sure. It is a score of 4-3. Guidry back out. We'll face Lacey, North, and Yeager. Bottom portion of the Dodger order. 149, that's a non-split. 149 is a strikeout. Got a 127 to 159 range for a strikeout, and there it is. So Guidry, strikeout number 6 on the game. Brings up Billy North. 586 rather. That's Mickey Rivers. That blue 6, he may get to this, he may not. Mickey Rivers, a 586. 586, he does get to it. A deep fly to center, he gets to it. 587, 88, or 89 would have been a hit, but not 586. Mickey Rivers runs it down. Covered a lot of ground out there in spacious Yankee Stadium. 2 down for Steve Yeager. That's a 604, and that should be no problem at all. 604 is a 4-3 ground out. 3 up and 3 down for Guidry. He has a much better 7th inning. Kind of rights the ship a bit. We go to the 7th inning stretch. Score still 4-3 in favor of the Yankees. This will be Don Sutton's fatigue inning. He has a fatigue of 6, which means the 7th inning begins his fatigue. Each time he gives up a base runner or a hit, we add 10 to the ballpark rolls. And as the ballpark rolls get higher, as you can see on the ballpark chart, as the numbers get higher, that's where the hits come in. So we're going to add 10 to whatever comes here, plus the 10 for the home team. The home team also gets an advantage as well. So Dodgers, with that in mind, have the bullpen active. And since there was a travel day yesterday, everybody is well rested in the bullpen. So if we look at the Yankee lineup, it is, and of course, Scam likely wants to call in right at this time. Good thing I'm not doing this thing on my phone or I've been bumped out. All right, we got Chambliss, Doyle, and Dent due up. So we're going to have left-hander Lance Rotson is loosening in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Lance Rotson, in case Sutton runs into trouble. We have the DH, so you're not worried about pinch hitting. Here's Chambliss. 606, home team's batting, you add 10, makes it a 616. But that's still going to be a pop-up to second. So 1 away. And that'll take us to Brian Doyle. 2-21 against a left-hander Doyle. 2-2-1 is going to be a fly ball to right. Would have been a single against the right. Again, that's that one reverse split that he had. So that's 2 down. And that takes us to Bucky Dent. Dent 1 for 2. 6:14, again, the home team's batting, so you add 10, make it 6:24, and that's where it says add 10 if the home team is batting. 6:24, it's a pop up to second, and that's going to end the inning. So Sutton keeps full endurance into the 8th because he gave up nothing. And now Ronson has set down. This will be Guidry's fatigue inning. He's got a fatigue of 7, so his fatigue starts in the 8th inning. Davey Lopes, the batter. Top of the order, Lopes, Russell, and Smith. No action in the Yankee bullpen just yet. 206, and that's going to be a redirect to a 406. The 200 to 210 gets redirected to a 406. We come over here to 406, and that's going to be a walk to Davey Lopes. So Lopes will walk, and now Russell is up, and Russell will be bunting. His bunt rating's a 6, pretty good bunt rating. So Russell will bunt. And once again, we bring out the bunt chart. Take his bunt rating of 6, add it to the 3 dice, and check the chart. So we get a total of 13, add 6 to it for 19. 19 says it's a good bunt. Sacrifice goes 3-1, which is kind of a weird sacrifice, but I'll call it 3-4. That makes more sense to me. Or 3 unassisted, I could believe that one too, but 3-1 just kind of a little hanky there. So 1 away, but the tying run is now in scoring position. And since Guidry walked Davey Lopes, if we go to the ballpark card, he's going to add 10 to that because that's part of his fatigue. You add 10 per level of pitcher fatigue, and each level is based on base runners, so hits, walks, and whatever. So 1 base runner means 1 level. So if Reggie Smith rolls from the ballpark card, we will add 10 to his score. And we do. So instead of a 675, it's now a 685. So a 685 is going to be a single plus that'll tie the game. 675 would have been a hit by pitch. 685 is a single plus that's going to tie the game. We are tied at 4 apiece. And that may do it for Guidry because he has now added another one there. So that's going to be another, actually it's going to be 3 now because the walk, the hit, and the run, that's three levels right there to give him 30 points. And if you go to the ballpark card and you start adding 30 points to everything, you're going to be way down in here for these hits. So it looks like with the right-hander coming up that Bob Lemon is going to make a move to the bullpen. So Guidry all of a sudden loses it here. 7 1/3 innings pitched for Guidry. He is going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Uncharacteristically walked 4. Actually, he walked 4. And he struck out 6. So far, 4 runs, but he is responsible for Reggie Smith. So he can't win it, but he could lose it. And now the Yankees will go to the bullpen, and they will bring out right-hander Dick Tidrow. Dick Tidrow will be on the mound to try to keep the score where it is and not let the Dodgers fall, or not let the Yankees fall behind. So Dick Tidrow facing Garvey. That's a 115. Will be a 115 is a 3-1 ground out. So runner will go to second. The go-ahead run is now in scoring position in Reggie Smith. The only play Chambliss has was to throw it to Tidrow. So now the Penguin, Ron Say, is up. Tying the go-ahead runs at second base with 2 outs. That's a 183, and that's going to be a bloop single to first, and with 2 outs, it's an automatic 2-base advancement on a bloop single. And the Dodgers have come back to take the lead. That run is charged to Guidry, so he could take the loss in this. 5 runs, 5 earned. So Guidry, who was doing so well, and then not anymore. Dodgers now lead it 5-4. That'll bring up Dusty Baker. 565, that's the shortstop Bucky Dent, but the blue 5 shouldn't be a problem. 565 is a 6-3 ground out, and that will end the inning. But 2 more runs come in for the Dodgers, and we go to the bottom of the 8th with the Dodgers now in the lead 5-4, and Don Sutton still out there because he has not faced any or not given up anything to cause his fatigue numbers to go up. He'll be facing Rivers, White, and Munson, top of the order. Dodger bullpen Terry Forster, a lefty, is loosening in their bullpen. He is their closer. Here's Sutton to Mickey Rivers. 6:02. We add 10 for the home team, but nothing else because Sutton has not had any fatigue checks yet. 6:02. It's a 6-3 ground out. So that's one away. Dodgers looking to take the lead and take a two games to one lead in the series, which is exactly where it was after 3 games in real world. Roy White, 640, but we're going to add 10, makes it 650. But that's still going to be a 5-3 ground out. So that's 2 away for Thurman Munson. 630, we're going to add 10, make it a 640, but that's still not going to cut it. It's a 3-1 put out. And Sutton still keeps all his endurance. And he's going for the complete game, although they will have Forster ready if need be. Tidrow back out. He's out there to try to keep things where they are. But with a right-hander in the ball game for the Yankees, the Dodgers will pinch hit for Lee Lacy and bring in a different designated hitter. And that designated hitter is going to be Rick Monday. So Rick Monday will take over as the designated hitter, and he will pinch hit for Lee Lacy here in the 9th. Rick Monday against Dick Tidrow. 5-4 Dodgers. Top of the 9th. 684. Wow, 684. And that's going to be a single for Rick Monday. Pinch hit single. Rick Monday. Bring up Bill North. It's a 102. It's a redirect to a 302, which is a strikeout. So North is out of there, and here's Yeager. 410 for Yeager against a righty Tidrow. 410, still going to be a walk. So that's going to put runners at first and second with just 1 out for Davey Lopes. 606. 606 is a strikeout. Strikeout for Tidrow. 2 down, and here's Bill Russell. We've got to get Bill Russell out to keep this a 1-run game. That's a double die, 666. 666. But he's going to get away with it. It's a 3-1 put out because there's no fatigue involved, and they're not the home team. If the Dodgers were at home, it'd be a 676, and that would be a bloop single, but that's not the case here. It's a 3-1 put out, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Yankees. Sutton will start out the inning, but Terry Forster is ready if needed. Due up for the Yankees, it'll be Hot Dog Jackson, Lou Piniella, and Greg Nettles. So we'll see what Hot Dog can do against Sutton. Actually, Tommy Lasorda has made the move. They're actually going to go to Terry Forster. They will make that move to bring in Terry Forster, their left-handed closer. And Sutton will cap him at 8 innings. And he's going to give up 4 runs. They were all, 3 of them were earned. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. He did not walk a batter. That was a pretty good deal for him not to walk anybody. Didn't strike out many either. He just struck out, I think, just the 1. I think Nettles was his only strikeout. So low strikeouts there. But Terry Forster in, and he's in there to face mainly because of Hot Dog Jackson, because he's a lefty. And if you look at the bottom of his card, 492 to 499 would be a deep drive against right-handers, but he would strike out against lefties. So that's the reason for the move. Jeff, I haven't played this enough in any kind of replay to know which one is more statistically accurate. I think they both do a good job. I know Stratomatic's accurate because I've done replays in there before, but this one, I mean, he put a lot into it, a lot of thought into it and whatnot. So, I mean, it's got, definitely a lot of rhyme to the reason. So, Forster, 254, and he's facing a lefty Reggie. 254 is a strikeout. So Forster strikes out Hot Dog Jackson. Brings up Lou Piniella. 535, that is going to be Steve Garvey. The blue 5, though, shouldn't be too much of an issue for Garvey, I wouldn't think. But you never know. So we're going to look at Steve Garvey. 535. Nope, it's a 3 unassisted. Had that blue die been a 6 or higher, it would have been a hit. But it is 3 unassisted, ground out for Garvey. And down to the last chance, Greg Nettles, he did hit a 3-run homer in the 4th inning. So he's got that deep drive sitting right there, if he can find it. He found a 398 instead, but that's still good enough for a home run for Greg Nettles. It's a non-split chance when you get into 300. You don't take the lefty-righties into consideration. That's a home run. 398, 394 to 399 is a home run. Greg Nettles just hit a home run to tie the ball game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. His second home run of the game, and we are tied at 5 apiece. And boy, gets Guidry off the hook, but Sutton's got to be frustrated. He doesn't get the win. And we possibly going extra innings. Here's Chris Chambliss. 285, and against the lefty Chambliss, 285 is a 3-1 putout. And we do have extra innings here in game 3. It was clean as a baby's ass. You got that right. There was no lefty-righty fringe to worry about. If that had been a 490 something, then it would have been a strikeout. But the 300s are non-split. This is the way it's done with the dice. So we are going now to the 10th, and that's it for Tidrow. They're going to bring in the Goose. No sense waiting around. There's no longer a safe situation to be involved. So the Yankees will bring in Goose Gossage. They're going to go down. They're going down with their best. And that's the Goose. So Gossage will come in. Tidrow is going to go an inning and 2/3. And he's going to give up 2 hits and a walk. No runs. And although he did allow the inherited runners to score. And let's see, 2 strikeouts. So we got Reggie Smith, Steve Garvey, and Dusty Baker due up for the Dodgers. Reggie Smith, Steve Garvey. Make sure I got my lineup straight the way I need it here, because I had that change in DH to Rick Mundy, so I had to make sure he was still around. All right, so we got Lopes and Russell here. We got Smith, Garvey, and Say, right? Yep, that's what we got. Smith, Garvey, and Say. And that's going to be it for Forster. He's done because his fatigue was inning number 1. So if he came back out, as soon as he gave up something, he would add 10 to the ballpark. So it looks like Charlie Huff is loosening the bullpen for the Dodgers, and he would come in to pitch the 10th. So Forster is going to give up pitch 1 inning, give up 1 hit in the run, which was the homer, no walks and a strikeout, and Charlie Huff will be coming in to pitch for the Dodgers in the 10th. So here's Gossage facing Reggie Smith, 231. Reggie Smith switch hitter batting left-handed. So here, left-hander and switch, 231 is a 4-3 ground out. Out number 1. And of course, this score sheet only goes 10 innings, so I'll be in trouble if it goes past 10. I'll have to do something else. Start squirming into the 10th inning and doing whatever. Here's Garvey, 150. And that's a clean strikeout for Goose Gossage. 127 to 165 is a strikeout. Gossage strikes out Garvey. Here's Ron Say. 491 for Say against a left-handed pitcher. That would have been a deep drive, but against the righty Gossage, it is a strikeout. So Gossage strikes out Say. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Still tied at 5. And we have new pitcher for the Dodgers. And it will be Charlie Huff. And coming up for the Yankees, it'll be Doyle, Dent, and Rivers. Wonder if they might pinch hit for Doyle. I think they will. So let's look at the Yankee bench and see who they've got available out there. You got Gary Thomason, Jay Johnstone. We're going to go with the prankster, Jay Johnstone. He's going to pinch hit for Doyle. And then Fred Chicken Stanley would come in and play second base if it goes to an 11th inning. So Fred Stanley would come in and play second base if it goes to a potential 10th inning. So right here, we're going to have Jay Johnstone, the prankster. 262 in 65 at-bats for the Yankees. It'll be Johnstone, Dent, and Rivers against Charlie Huff. Hey, Dan, didn't see you sneak in there. 269. Johnstone's a lefty. 269 is a fly to right field, and that's one away. So the prankster flies out to right. Brings up Bucky Dent. .447, and that's going to be against a righty Huff. .447 is a 4-3 ground out. That's out number 2. And here's Mickey Rivers. .588. That's tough for the center fielder the center fielder Bill North. He's going to have trouble here with that blue 8. .588 is going to be a single. A run on first could challenge and go to third, but there is no run on first, so it's just going to be a single for Mickey Rivers. But he's going to be looking to steal the base, no question about it. The hold rating on Huff's only a 2, and his steal rating's a 2. So good chance for him to get the lead. And if he can get the lead, it's a really good chance for him to steal. So Mickey Rivers is going to try for the lead. To get the lead, you take the steal rating plus the 2 D10s. It's got to be greater than or equal to 10 plus the hold rating. Well, the hold rating of 2 and the steal rating of 2 are the same. So we're just looking at these 2 dice have to total 10 or higher for him to get the positive lead. And it is a 10 exactly, so it matches. So it gets the lead. So now we're going to steal with the lead. And the difference between stealing with the lead and without the lead is you get to add the extra die in there. So it's a speed plus these 3 dice, and Mickey Rivers' speed is a 7. So 7 plus these 3 dice have to total 10 plus the arm of the catcher. And the arm of the catcher is Steve Yeager. His arm rating is a 6. So it has to beat 16. Equal or better 16. And we're starting with the 7 for Rivers. So these 3 dice have to total 9 or higher for him to be safe. And they do exactly. Right on the button, a 9. He is safe. Stolen base, Mickey Rivers. Lasorda is arguing. So is Bill Russell, but to no avail. And now Roy White is up. Winning run at second base and 2 outs. Roy White. 426 for White, and that's going to be a 4-3 ground out to end the inning. And we go to the 11th. Like I said, the score sheet only goes to 10 innings, so I'm going to have to improvise. Try to fit the 11th and possibly 12th innings in there. So now at second base will be Stanley. He is your new second baseman as of the 11th inning. So Fred Stanley will be the new second baseman. Gossage coming out for inning number 2. This is his fatigue inning, but if you're going to pitch him, you might as well pitch him and get some use out of him. Facing Dusty Baker. That's a 647. 647 is going to be a 4-3 ground out. So 1 away. Here's Rick Monday. 483 for Rick Monday. 483 is a single to center field. So now if we go to the ballpark under Gossage, we'll add 10 because of fatigue. But if we stay away from the red 6, it doesn't have to worry about that. But we get the red 6. Unbelievable. And now it's even worse. 694, you add 10, make it a 704. We're deep drive to center field. His power is a 0, though. So we're coming over here. Center field, rolling the 2 D10s. It has to total 18 to be a home run, so almost guaranteed not to be a home run. That's a 13. So 13 is going to be a fly to center field, and so Gossage got away with that one, and there's 2 away. that had been a power hitter, he might have been in trouble. Here's Yeager now with 2 outs. Runner at first. That's a 1-19. That's a redirect to a 3-19, and that's a strikeout to end the 11th inning. And that will do it for Gossage. He goes 2 innings. Gives up a hit, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So Gossage is done, and the Yankees will probably bring in Sparky Lyle to pitch the 12th if it goes that far. Charlie Huff, also this is his fatigue inning, and he'll be facing Munson, Jackson, and Piniella, although left-hander Lance Ronson is ready to go in the bullpen, I think, for Reggie Jackson. So we're going to let Huff face Munson, and then when Reggie comes up, Lance Ronson will be coming in to face him. So Huff will be facing Munson to start things off. 166, and a 166 is a wild pitch, which means just ball 1 with nobody on base. We get a 5-35. That's a ground ball to first. Garvey, though, a blue 5 shouldn't be any trouble with Garvey. It's a good fielder. So 5-35 is a 3 unassisted. That's 1 away, and that's going to do it for Charlie Huff. Huff will exit with Reggie Jackson coming up. They go to the left-hander Lance Ronson, whatever you want to call him. The other lefty on the Dodger staff besides Terry Forster. So let's see. Huff came in, and he gave up 1 hit. Pitched an inning and a third, gave up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. So Reggie, Hot Dog Jackson, has a chance to walk this off with a home run, but now his deep drive here has been erased and has been moved to a strikeout. But if he finds a 399, a 391, or a 389, those will be walk-off home runs. Or the ballpark could help him too. That's a 261, though. Against a lefty-on-lefty matchup, 261 is a fly to left field. So that is out number 2. And here comes Sweet Lou. 547. That could be tough for Lopes with that blue 7. Might get by him. And it does. 547 is going to be a single. So a 2-out single for Piniella. And that'll bring up Nettles. And Nettles is 2 for 4. He's hit a 3-run homer in the 4th and a solo shot in the bottom of the 9th. Those were all against right. Well, actually, the home run against Forster in the 9th was against Forster, because he found this result. Loses a deep drive here, but he doesn't lose it here. 639. We're going to the ballpark. 649 because we add 10 for the home team. 649, though, is only going to be a 5-4 fielder's choice. And we are going to the 12th inning. No ghost runners back in 1978, obviously. So we will go until we get a winner. And coming in for the Yankees will be Sparky Lyle. We bring on Sparky Lyle. I believe Ronson is probably done. And we could see Bob Welch coming in after this. All right. Yeager made the last out, striking out. So it's going to be Lopes, Russell, and Smith due up against Sparky Lyle. So Ronson is done. He pitched 1 inning. Actually pitched 2/3 of an inning, did Ronson. Gave up a hit, but nothing else. So Bob Welch will be coming on in the bottom of the 12th. Top of the 12th, Davey Lopes leads things off against Sparky Lyle, 1-1-12. And that's going to be a 3-1 putout. As Sparky Lyle will flip to Chambliss covering, 1 away. And here's Bill Russell. 505, we got a rare play. Anything 500 to 509 is a rare play with the bases empty. So we'll re-roll for a rare play. And that's a 454. 454. We had this one already. Single to right field. If the white die is 10 digits, it's higher than the right fielder's rating. The batter advances second on an error. That's a 5. The right fielder in this case is Lou Piniella. We'll check his rating. He's mainly rated for left field, so we go over to right field. That's a 5, and that's a 5. It's not greater, it's the same, so there is not going to be an error. It will just be a base hit. Simply a base hit, but no error. So Russell, a 1-out single. And I'm really running out of room here, aren't I? That's what I get for using a score sheet that only has 10 innings. All right, here's Reggie Smith. 1 out, 1 on, top of the 12th, tied at 5. It's a 389 against the left hand. Well, here's a non-split, and it's a home run. Reggie Smith, 387 to 399 is a home run, and that is a 2-run bomb for Reggie Smith. Reggie Smith cracks a 2-run homer, and just like that, the Dodgers now lead it by the score of 7-5, and the Yankee Stadium crowd just groans. And here is Garvey. 109 is going to be a pop out to third. Notice Sparky Lau did not have a lot of strikeouts, so there is no redirect here like it is on a lot of pitchers. It's just simply going to be a pop out to first. 4 out, number 2. And that brings up Ron Say. 118 is going to be a 3-1 ground out to end the inning. But the 2-run home run from Reggie Smith may have done the Yankees in. We go to the bottom of the 12th. Lyle goes 2 innings. 2 innings for Lyle. Or is it 1 inning? Let me see here. Get my innings straight here. No, that was the only inning he pitched. That was the first inning for Lyle. Let's see here. 1 inning, and he gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. No walks, no strikeouts. So it is going to be Bob Welch coming on to pitch for the Dodgers. Due up for the Yankees, it'll be Chambliss, Stanley, and Dent. Can't pinch hit for Stanley because there's nobody else to play second base. So they're stuck with Stanley. And I'm going to have to, after Chambliss, I'll have to put Stanley up here. Start writing some of their results up here along with Dent. All right, so right now I'm going to use this one for Chambliss. That's a 266. And against the lefty, 266 is going to be a fly out to right field, 1 away. Fred Chicken Stanley, his first at bat. 607, that's not too good. 607 will be a strikeout. And now the Yankees down to their final at bat if Bucky Dent needs to get a hit to keep it going. That's a 555. That's a ground ball to Ron Say. The blue 5 shouldn't be that big of a problem for Say, you wouldn't think. 555, and he makes the play, a 5-3 ground out, and that's the ball game. Dodgers win it by the score of 7-5 and take a 2-1 lead in the World Series, which is exactly where they were in real world. They won they didn't win the same games at the same time, but they held a 2-1 advantage after 3 games. So Sparky Lyle takes the loss. Ronson gets the win, and Welch gets the save. He goes 1 inning and gives up nothing with the strikeout. So if we look at the errors and the hits, we had an error by Say to start the game, and I think that was the only error out there. Just the 1 error on the Dodgers. So hits, the Dodgers collect, according to what I'm looking at, 10 hits, 7 runs, 10 hits, and an error. Yankees with 9 hits, 5 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. So game 3 is in the book. Dodgers win it in a seesaw battle. Mack took the lead in the 8th, but the home run from Nelson in the 9th sent us to extra innings. And then a Reggie Smith 2-run home run wins it for the Dodgers. Reggie Smith is your player of the game. Like to give it to Greg Nettles, but you don't usually give that to a losing team, unfortunately. So Reggie's player of the game. Dodgers win it by a score of 7-5. Would have used the bench more. I'm not sure how you would have used the bench more. Stanley and Dent had to hit. There's no other middle infielders. So I had no options there. We had Paul Blair, Jim Spencer, Gary Thomason, and Cliff Johnson. Those were your pinch hitters. But none of those guys can play second base or short. So we already pinched it for Doyle earlier. So we're stuck with Stanley and Dent. I had no options there. So there was really nothing that could be done for the Yankees in that inning. Or I certainly would have done so. But we really were handicapped. We did put everything we had into that ninth inning or whatever inning that was when Johnstone pinch hit. The 10th inning, I guess it was. It just didn't work out. So that's the way it is. Yankees lose it 7-5, 2-1 lead for the Dodgers. Game 4 will be tomorrow at 2:00 Eastern, roughly. And I'm not sure even who pitches in Game 4. I'll have to take a look. Don't know if it's a redo the Game 3. Game 1 pitching match, but we'll take a quick look here. We'll figure out who pitches in game number 4. Probably should have looked it up ahead of time, but I didn't. So we'll go to game 4, 1978, Yankee Stadium. And we're going to have Tommy John and Ed Figueroa. Yep, it's a rematch of game 1. Tommy John and Ed Figueroa. Yankees won game real world 4-3 in extra innings. Pinella singled to score Roy White to win the game in extra innings as they beat Bob Welch, actually. Game 4 was the game that Reggie Jackson infamously stuck his hip out and it caused all sorts of controversy on a throw where they were trying. It was a line drive, and they're trying to double him off first, and the throw from Bill Russell hit Reggie Jackson in the hip, and Tomlin sort of had a fit about it, saying he didn't get out of the way. It's a whole big controversy. That's what happened in Game 4. But Game 4, tomorrow afternoon at 2:00, roughly, Ed Figueroa against Tommy John, rematch of Game 1. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of season ticket baseball. Hopefully, as I'm playing it, you're kind of following the rules a little bit if you're unfamiliar with the game to see how it's played and see the mechanics of it. So this is just a follow-up to my project for the 1978 season, NBC Game of the Week. I played every Saturday. So I figured since the regular season was over, I'd go ahead and play the World Series too. And so that's what we did. So let's go do it from here. We'll see you all again tomorrow afternoon at roughly 2:00 for Game 4. Until then, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we hope you have a safe Friday evening. And until next time, we bid you adieu from Yankee Stadium.